Now, I want to talk to you about something that happened with the IRS whistleblowers yesterday. Testimony heard at the House Committee on Ways and Means, attesting to the Department of Justice hamstringing the U.S. Attorney David Weiss and his ability to pursue the Hunter Biden case. The whistleblowers, Gary Shapley, he led the IRS investigation on the Hunter Biden case. The case was codenamed Sportsman. I don't know how you put him as a sport. Anyway, as well as one of his subordinate agents, name undisclosed. I'm going to just give you a couple of things. I'm going to give you the top 10 things that we learned yesterday from Just the News. But I want to go to, where it is, here it is, a WhatsApp message connected to Joe Biden and Hunter Biden's business deal. Now, I don't know why we haven't seen this before. The second unnamed whistleblower said that there was a WhatsApp message found where Hunter Biden mentioned his father, President Joe Biden, in the context of business deals. Now, remember, I had nothing to do. I didn't know about my son's business, and we've told you that's impossible. It is impossible. And we've shown you circumstantial evidence, okay? But in the WhatsApp message, here's what he says. And this, the FBI and IRS had July 30th, 2017. Biden says to Henry Zhao, one of his Chinese affiliates, guy who's doing business with, Jason, I want to bring you in because you're chief researcher and I've been so busy on the book. I want to make sure that you clarify, make sure that I'm right on everything. Henry Zhao is the guy who is Communist Party affiliated, yes. Right? Okay. And this is the, I can't remember the name of the company.
CEFC.
Yes, which was?
That was, I guess they're kind of like an energy type company.
Right, but it's a wholly owned subsidiary of the Chinese government, okay? And the contact was a guy in the Communist Party, Henry Zhao. And this is what Hunter Biden wrote, quote, I am sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled. Now, it goes on, but I think that's enough. Don't you? I'm sitting here with my father, not the big guy. You know, he's become very spiritual. Maybe he was talking about his father in heaven. I'm sitting here in prayer with my father in heaven. And he's wondering why the commitment, you know, to some of those commandments has not yet been fulfilled. Maybe that's the explanation. He says, tell the director that I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand. And now means tonight. And Z, if I get a call or text from anyone involved in this other than you, Zhang, or the chairman, I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he knows and my ability to forever hold a grudge, that you will regret not following my direction. I'm sitting here waiting for the call with my father in heaven. Or, as he wrote, he left the in heaven part out. I'm sitting here waiting for the call with my father.
I mean, I was very, very suspicious of, and I would say knew that Joe Biden committed crimes like this. And this is not a surprise. I am surprised they were this blatant with it. I am shocked that this message actually exists. This is Hunter Biden blatantly blurting out everything we've been accusing him of. It's happening. This is real, right? Like, honestly, I went back and forth 20 times yesterday going like, did someone say they saw this message? Is it one of those things that like it turned up on the internet? We can't explain why. This is real, Jason, right? Like, there's no question about it.
This is not only real, but let me tell you this. The FBI, and this is in the first couple pages of this report.
The report is like 250 pages. Yeah. And thank God for you, Jason, for reading all
I'm always the schmuck, right?
Yeah, I know.
The FBI authenticated all of this in November 2019. Now, just think about what happened after that.
Okay, that's a year before the election.
Yeah.
That's a year before the laptop goes out. They verified, the FBI, we now know, verified that laptop was real a year before anyone even heard the word Hunter laptop.
But what did they do to social media companies like Facebook right after this? They went to places like Facebook and said, hey, there might be some Russian disinformation, that might be coming your way soon. Just want to put it on your radar. Mm-hmm. And that eventually led to all of the blacklisting and, banning of all that information, like the New York Post article. This is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
What is truly an act of treason toward freedom is the press not raising hell over this.
Yeah.
Okay? This is the smoking gun, the smoke, the little smudged bullet in the wall. This is all of it. This is all of it. And for them not to take this now and say, because here's the problem. Only half the country cares.
Right.
And until you get the other half to care, nothing's going to happen. But if ABC, NBC, boy, it would be horrible if people started protesting the Mouse House, because ABC only moves when anybody threatens the Mouse House, the actual park. You're saying, I'm going to picket your park. They go crazy. They don't care about their movie or anything. They care about the parks. So I'd hate to see somebody organize a really lasting, long-term, and smart picketing of those parks to get ABC to actually start to tell the truth. The fact that that this isn't the lead and nonstop story of the year.
Yeah, because it's not only this message. We've seen the laptop. We've seen tons of stuff on there that was a real problem. The reason we're seeing this message today is because the whistleblowers said they had these messages and they were blocked from trying to investigate them.
Yes. So listen to the whole thing. Listen, there's other things. Biden met CEFC, Chinese business client of Hunter. Did you know that? He didn't know anything about it. He meets this guy. Shapley recalled Rob Walker, a business associate of Hunter, describing a meeting that Joe Biden attended with the Chinese company. Walker went on to describe an instance in which the former vice president showed up at a CFC meeting. Walker said, we were at the Four Seasons. We were having lunch, and he stopped in, and he said hello to everybody. I don't think he drank water. I think Hunter Biden said, I may be trying to start a company or try to do something with these guys. And could you? And I think he was like, I'm around. And he'd show up, he recounted. So I don't know exactly what that means other than I want to do business and could you be involved? But he didn't want to say that. If you're around, would you show up from time to time? Is that what you get from that?
Yes. Does that go on to say what the conclusions that they drew from that meeting? Okay, so that goes on even further in the testimony, and whoever's asking the whistleblower question says, "Was it your impression that all of this was orchestrated between Joe and Hunter for him to show up at that time to make that presence to influence this meeting? Was it in your impression that this was orchestrated?" He answers, "Yes. That was my impression."
Okay, now this isn't just some nameless whistleblower. There are those that are afraid. This is a high-ranking IRS official that was in charge of this investigation.
Yeah.
And as you will find out in a few minutes, he is blowing the whistle not only on what they found, but what they were not allowed to do. All the stuff that this was, oh, no, we stayed out of it. He is an absolute lie. and we now have the FBI stating it, and we have the IRS stating it. All of the agents that were involved in the actual work. And at the IRS, the guy who was in charge of the agents who were doing the work.
Can I point out also is that we've been kind of critical on the FBI, as we should, I think, in a lot of things. But this was very, very remarkable in this testimony because the rank and file FBI agents were just as pissed off as this whistleblower was in this testimony. It's clear that something was happening at the higher level, but the rank and file FBI agents were like, let us investigate. Let us ask these questions.
I would love to see if they really cared. If they really cared. I mean, I got to tell you, any of these guys lose their job and you are really coming out and blowing the whistle and you have the hard facts, I think this audience would raise millions of dollars to make sure your family was taken care of. You know what I mean? You've got to do your patriotic duty. You've got to speak out. Anyway, let me come back to, there's more shocking stuff. Okay, so now the FBI whistleblower, and again, not rank and file guy, this was the guy in charge of the investigation. The IRS whistleblower describes in detail yesterday how Hunter Biden evaded paying taxes on his Burisma income. Biden's appointed attorneys allowed the statute of limitation to run out. Okay, listen to this. Here's the quote. And so the way the money worked is there's a document in which the contract between Burisma and Hunter Biden, those are the two parties. It was for $1 million per year. Of course, this was 2014, and it was negotiated in April. So the payments in that year were reduced by the months. So it was not shockingly $666,000, $83,000 a month he was receiving. What Hunter Biden did, I'm quoting the testimony, is that he told Burisma to send that income to Rosemont Seneca Bohai, which was his company. And then when the money came back to him, he booked it as a loan. So there's all this mechanization of nonsense happening over here in the nominee structure. Oh, this is complex. This is complex. And well, it's not complex because this is taxable events. As soon as the income came from Burisma to Hunter Biden, whatever he did with it after that was just a scheme to evade taxes for that year. To add to that is Rosemont Seneca's Bohai and Archer. When the money came back to Biden, they booked it as an expense on their books. So even the two parties didn't treat it the same way. Then Eric Schwennerin realized this, looked into it, and he even told Hunter on multiple occasions, multiple communications, you need to amend your 2014 return to include the Burisma income. He never did, but the FBI never let them investigate that in time. They kept asking, we have this, we have this, we have this. Well, I'm not sure. Let's not go there yet. Until it expired. And now, statute of limitations. But they intentionally blocked it until it expired. What? Listen to this. I had alluded to FARA and some other things here, but some of these people here, Chairman Yi, Gan Windong, Zhao, are believed to be connected to the Chinese Communist Party. Okay, so could there be national security implications with communications with those officials? The testimony is that is correct. And was that sentiment also shared by the FBI? Answer, yes. And despite those concerns that the FBI had and the rest of the team had, he was not looked into. Is that correct? The prosecutors said don't do it. When we asked for location, GPS location on some of these documents, they said, no, we're not going to do that. And if FBI did something at some level, I'm not privy to it. They blocked them. Even the WhatsApp, if I'm not mistaken, Jason, even the WhatsApp message, they wanted to geolocate where that message came from to make sure he was in the house and Dad was in the house. They wouldn't do it. Now, why in an honest investigation would you not do that? Why wouldn't you exonerate the president? It'd be very easy to do.